Okay, off we go.
Mahag Saar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Out of my way!
Hear me!
I'm gone!
Denied!
Burning shield and
Come on!
I'll take out the leg with my shield.
Crescent flash! Elusive
Piercing roar! I'll stop his charge!
Thanks, Kisara!
Make it rain!
All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
Magnificently done! Crescent flash!
Make it rain!
This'll come in handy.
Everyone still in one piece?
Yep. I barely worked up a sweat. You got company! Flame of fury!
Switch
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to
Stay
stop.
resting! You gotta jump for cover, okay?
Denied!
Let's get you all tucked away!
I'll face
I'm
you!
gone!
Vanquish the melee!
Make it rain! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! A merry distraction!
There's still more to go! Tiger Blade! Everyone hanging in there?
I'll hold on to that.
Hoo hoo hoo! Hoo! Hoo hoo hoo! Look, Hoodle! One of your buddies! Hoo!
Coming through!
May a thousand gales tear you to shreds!
Going in!
Searing flame!
Engulfs you! Elusive
Into the
deity!
shadows!
Tornado drive!
Make it rain!
In an instant! Impact cross! I'll face you!
Gemini Aqua!
Look sharp!
Crescent
One
flash!
more!
We got your energy!
Tiger Blade!
Go!
Tempest!
Firmament render!
Do it!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
I never had a doubt. There's something in the water. I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. There's a nice breeze here. Not my lucky day, I guess. Looks like I lost it. Ha! Nothing's biting. I've got a good feeling about this one. Dagnabbit! It got away. All right. I'll get you next time. Reel it in. I'll catch something bigger next time.
You take your fishing pretty seriously.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us. Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought, after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh Renin cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me, but my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now, it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I have a bad feeling about this.
What's in the sky is mine! Here! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike!
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
Now, hear me!
Air. Light burst force!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
Going in! Zephyr Trident!
So... No.
Fear Whip! Here!
I'm
Strike
ready!
in the wind!
All yours, Kisara! Resonate
You're all thousand gales! Fear Whip! Blood March! I'm out! Back into the fray! Falling Sword! Mega Ray! Hear me! Piercing Nerve! Burning Strike! Supernova! Raging Temptation! Spread!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Cyslodia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Cyslodia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart. When he slows down, that's our chance. No further.
Leave the agile ones to me.
Death on the wind. Take this. No further.
I'm all ready! Flaming meteor!
Throbs in pain.
Freezing storm! Tiger blade!
Rotating pile driver.
Lightning condemned!
Glacial
Thunder blade! Lightning condemned! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus roar!
Water snake wing!
Catapult.
Tiger blade!
Interrupted.
Water snake
May a
wing!
thousand gales now!
Blow them away.
Tiger blade!
Blazing now!
Outfit. In an instant. Impact block.
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dan in history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him. We can really make weapons with this?
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
This will be a delicious piece of cake!
Can't get out of this!
Going in!
Can you take it?
Ready and ready! It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
Elusive deity! Begin!
Get in an instant! Here's
Got
the
fire!
I got this! Let a marksman handle it! You want
All
this?
yours!
Take this! This one's mine!
too.
You'll soon see about that! Let's go and test what this team can do!
Tornado drive!
Now!
All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Thunderblade! Lightning condemned!
Hitting pile driver!
Thunderblade! Lightning condemned! Raging lightning! Burning bright! A freezing storm! Dance in the wind! Air blast! Draws and rends! Lightning condemned! Thunderblade! Healing circle! Raging tiger! Glacial fear! Here's the evil! Can you take it? Will this help?
Dance in the wind!
Let's go! In here! I will heal you all!
Elusive deity! Begin!
A healing circle! Magic! Mega ray! In here!
You're helping me to become a power.
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire!
Raging cascade!
Elusive deity!
Strike!
Rotating pile driver!
This'll come in handy. Well, looky here.
This one will be difficult to predict.
Raging cascade! If it's in the sky, it's mine! Here!
My special.
I'm ready!
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! A merry
You're
distraction.
open! There's still more to go! Photon flash! Fear sweep! Alright! It's showtime!
Elusive deity! Tornado drive!
Lightning strike!
Epic!
Water!
Take this!
Lightning descent!
Going in! Can you take it?
Evil!
Not so fast!
Freeze Blazer!
Crescent flash! On guard!
Thousand Gales! Carrier
Elusive
strike!
deity!
Pierce evil! Nails! Freeze Lancer!
Begin! You're going in!
May a thousand
One
gales
more!
carry
Tornado
you
drive!
Cyan is back into your
Elusive
grave!
deity! Begin! Beckon
I'll
to
heal you all.
everlasting
Let's go.
darkness! Negative gate!
Healing guard!
Begin! Our surges through me!
Do it! And just like...
Hey! Blow them away!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Let's dispose of the tree. Gosh. I never fit! Let the marksman handle this! Not on my watch!
Begin!
Zephyr Trident! My duel of the arts! Radiant Pierce! Mega Ray!
Flying free!
Now, what's the
Reload!
picture?
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Certainly not. I shall provide us an astral art.
That's my cue! Let the marksman handle this!
Shut him down!
Really are stronger than Spectacles.
Actually, that would be formal.
Potatoes! So that's how a lord fights.
I don't perform as well when I'm observed.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear you say that. Supernova!
Take this!
Back into the fray! Radiant Pierce! Hear me! Radiant Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
You're open!
I'll face you!
Miasma! Decay! Toxicity!
Hitting pile driver!
There! And it's
Tornado
dead!
drive!
Disclose!
I'm ready!
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
I can feel my precision improving.
I've got really bad feeling about this.
I never fit! This one's mine! Radiant Pierce! Gusty Nail! That's it! Zephyr Trident! Disclose!
Elusive deity!
Sight!
Tornado drive!
Mega Ray! Miasma! Decay!
Leave the enemy's arts to me.
No place here!
I'm out!
Onward!
Miasma! Dance is the wind! Air Disclose! Photon Dance is the wind! Escape! There! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Bait with darkness! Miasma! Zephyr Trident! Divine! One more time! Going in! This is it! They've got me in their sight! Sweet dreams! Fear sweep!
You're most comfortable at a range, aren't you?
I'm not really built for close quarters combat.
Nor am I. Don't worry, I'll help you keep a white gun.
A comfortable win.
Like moths to the flame.
No further! Push up! I'll face you!
I'm expert! Having
Dance on the wind!
This one's mine!
Tornado drive!
Back into the fray! Your dreams!
Whoa, I'm impressed.
Make it rain!
All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Take this!
I'll face you!
Freeze laser!
Elusive deity! Ha! Tornado
Here's a healing
drive!
arc! First aid!
It's time! No further!
Aw, too shy!
Elusive deity!
Here!
Tornado drive!
Tiger blade!
Can you take it? Good shot!
I'm off this way! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
I'm ready!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! A merry distraction!
There's still more to go! Tiger blade! Gusty now!
Johalim!
All yours, Kisara!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Got some good equipment!
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
More Danon ruins here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
We seem to have come across something a little unusual. I'll hold on to that.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
I can ensure you survive
Rocked
this!
and ready! Radiant here! Zephyr Tiger blade! Miasma! Decay!
I'm ready!
Johalim! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! A merry
Now!
distraction!
There's still more to go! Decay! I'm out of ammo! Going in! Radiant light! Watch and weep! Mega ray! Hear me! Flame of fury! Ray strike! Radiant hit! Hit!
Make it rain!
Johalim! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
Now! Miasma!
Require a hand.
Zephyr Trident! Firmament Ranger! It's over!
I'm ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
So I still had room to grow.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Saar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep. Aren't you?
Firmament Ranger! Look sharp! Not on my watch! Sight. I'm only getting started!
Don't worry, I've got plenty to go around.
Primed and ready! Arrow here! Keep us here! Burning strike! Zephyr Trident! Miasma! Decay! Dance in the wind! All in here! On guard! Let's get ready! Mega ray! Tiger blade! Let's go! Zephyr Trident! Miasma! Decay! I'm out! There! Help now! Flame of
All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
Magnificently done.
I'm all stocked up! Lightning condensed! Explode! Thunderblade! Take it! Glacier! Crush all!
Let's get back into it.
Radiant here! There! Seal! One more! Lightning condensed! Mega ray! There! How's this? Hear me! We managed
shift at a moment's notice.
You're right. Better stay alert. Quiver Trident! Miasma! Arrow Squall!
Aqua Serpent!
This one's mine! Here I go! On guard! Explode!
Catapult!
This one's mine!
Tempest!
This one's mine! Radiant Pierce! Tiger Blade!
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky!
Enough! You got
Resonate with the earth!
Where are you going? This one's mine! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning Strike! Radiant Pierce! This one's Mega Ray! Fierce Sweep! One more! Falling Dance to the Wind! Radiant Pierce! Confiscate! Miasma! Detach! I'm out of ammo! Explode! One for Lightning Orb! Mega Ray!
New melody!
Burning Strike! We managed to turn the tide!
For now, but things could shift at a moment's notice.
You're right. Better stay alert. Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning Strike! Radiant Pierce! I'm all stuffed up. Going in. Mega Ray! We natural energy! Miasma!
I'm ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Trapped in darkness, pierced by light.
I call it the Rindo Special.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about that.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Here goes! Not on my watch! If it's in the sky, it's mine! Lightning Orb! Radiant Pierce! Zephyr Trident! Explode! Miasma!
I'm ready! In an instant! Impact Block!
Pathetic! Fierce Sweep! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning Strike! Sighted! Divine Pierce! I never miss! Mega Ray! Make it rain!
In an instant! Impact Block!
With this, I can become even stronger.
That's no ordinary enemy.
We're in for a long slog with this one.
Radiant Pierce! Not on my watch! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning Strike! Mega Ray! Radiant Pierce! More where that came from! Miasma! Detach! I'm out of ammo! This one's mine! I'm all stuffed up! I never miss! This one's mine! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning
You attack without mercy.
Because I can't afford to hesitate.
Not against a worthy opponent.
You're most comfortable at a range, aren't you?
I'm not really built for close quarters combat.
Nor am I. Don't worry. I'll help you keep away first.
Mega Ray! Dance in the wind! Radiant Pierce!
Yours are not the skills of just any warrior.
Save your compliments. We have to move.
There's an end, Talon.
Mega Ray! Now!
All yours, Kisara!
Didn't even break a sweat.
Discourteous, aren't you?
In a bind?
This one's mine!
Begin!
Instant!
Elusive Deity! Tornado Drive! Crescent Slash!
Shiny! Look sharp! This one's mine!
I'll face you!
I'm all stuffed up!
Elusive
Prepare to be sealed, though. Actually, perhaps bound is more appropriate.
Let's talking more serious. This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! A merry distraction.
There's still more to go! Piercing roar! Raging storm! Mega ray!
Good to know my training is paying off. Seriously? Is this a joke?
It's over! Not in your dreams! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning
Shield
water! Hear my call! Spread! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning here! I'll be saving you!
Tornado drive!
Tiger blade!
Dance on the wind!
Skip a heartbeat! This one's mine! In here!
I'll face you!
Tiger blade! Get on in there!
Dance on the wind!
Do it!
More! Hey! Blow them away!
None shall escape my judgment! Champion! A banana! Let's go! Tiger blade!
Everlasting dark! Negative gate!
Shot! One more! Tiger blade!
More! Hey! Blow them away!
Serious flame!
Resonate!
I'm out of
Still
ammo!
alive,
Back to the throne! Annihilation! Tiger blade! Burning!
Our superiority was undeniable.
It feels invigorating to dominate a battle.
I was certain I saw you yawn.
Come now, I'm certainly not that relaxed. I found... some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
Those of the trash.
Where you go?
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Here! Get on in there with you! My armor! Decay! Explode! Zephyr Trident! Here, wait!
On your knees.
Sight! It's over!
Air pressure!
Radiant here! Lightning conjunction!
All yours, Kisara!
We did it!
You're over!
Magnificently done!
Oh, my ally! Come over!
Begin!
Here!
Elusive deity!
Shooting
wild tiger!
Hear me! Flame of
Elusive
fury! Burning
deity!
strike!
You're being
Radiant
targeted.
here!
Make
I'm only getting started!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! No defense!
Is it just me, or is anyone else peckish?
My exploits are bearing fruit. Coming through.
I never miss! Let the marksman handle this! Not in your dreams! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Radiant here! Lightning orb!
Resonate with the earth.
Fierce wing!
Stalagmite.
Blade my
On
ally!
your knees.
Decay! Target wing! Fierce wing! Lightning I never miss! I can do this all day! Mega ray! Hear me! Flame of fury! Burning strike! Target wing!
The tide of battle has turned in our favor.
Then let's keep pressing the attack.
Indeed. Remain ever vigilant.
Sighted! Not in your dreams! Mega ray! Radiant here! Miasma! Decay! Raging cascade! Sighted! You're mine! Make it ready!
All yours, Kisara.
We did it!
Magnificently
Let the
done.
marksman handle this!
You've got pretty impressive aim there.
Thought of taking up the rifle yourself?
Nah, this is more my style.
Ready! Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Against you, of course.
Mega Ray! Radiant Pierce! Now! Ringwell! Frozen! Hammer! This is barely target practice.
Then why bother fighting them?
Because I certainly won't run away from a battle. That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
Help! Where you go? Primed and ready! Radiant Pierce! Miasma! Decay! Zephyr Trident! Light Arrow! Raging Cascade sighted! Mega Ray! Healing Flame of Fury! Sleep now! This'll come in handy! Zephyr Trident!
An astral launch?
That's my cue!
Shut him down.
I'm never miss! Radiant Light! Zephyr Trident!
How do you like being pounded into shape?
With the earth.
Hurricane Strike!
Vanquish Darkness!
Flaming Meteor!
Can't hold on much longer! Divine Radiant Storm!
Wait! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher! Nice try!
Instant! Raging Cascade!
Tiger Blade! Flaming Meteor!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Certainly not.
With this, I can become even stronger.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldomenencia of its enemies and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along, but it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes, I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menencia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? Are you tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag Saar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me, why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why... are we fighting? Who even are you?
This one's mine!
This one's mine!
On guard! Glacier Spear! Hurricane Strike! Lightning Strike! Dazzling Spin!
Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
Piercing Frost!
Entertain me.
Take the Glacier Spear! Get in the wind! Shield and
Enjoy.
Healing Circle! I owe you one for that! Gale! Period of Dread!
You picked the wrong...
Mega Ray!
Can you take it?
Will this restore? Lightning Orb!
Take this.
All right. Now where was I?
You're helping me become a passive.
For the good of all of us.
Is it now?
Begin! Crescent Strike!
Take this.
Falling Storm! Glacial Spear! Pierce Tiger Blade! Glacial Spear! Pierce Evil! Puddle! Freeze Laser! Will this help?
Here.
Benediction light.
Forgive
me. Just glad to be
Carrot!
It's all mine!
Poodle.
Take this. Die.
Healing Circle!
Enjoy.
From Death's Abyss! Now where was I?
Die.
Hasten! Lightning! Let me help!
This one's mine!
Show me your strength.
Begin! On guard! Dance in the wind!
Take this.
Hurricane Spear! Piercing Lightning
My
Strike!
reach is even wider.
Freeze Laser! Hurricane you back from Death's Abyss!
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides,
Hmm?
Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Saar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.
Hey.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain, but you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...